I got some Patreon questions.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
want to ask us,
Yeah,
you want to ask us some of these
Shoot 'em out.
questions, it's $10 a month. Just sign up below. We try to get to as many of them as possible, at least the good ones. Some
Along
of you
with
have,
video PKN and early sports and much more. Kyle, what do you got?
Mhm.
some of you have learning disabilities, but
I'll
that's
suck your
okay.
dick.
Will you?
Sure.
This one's for Kyle. As a complete stoner myself, I'm curious. What your preferred way to burn was? I like the lingo. I'm a joint man myself. Definitely concentrate, right? Like definitely concentrate, like wax or shatter or something like that, off of like a titanium nail with a nice percolating bubbler to cool everything off. Maybe throw some ice in there. It's nice if it's 24, 27 inches long, something like that, because it is so harsh.
Yeah.
Joints, man. If you're smoking a lot of joints a day, you're gonna be coughing so much. That's so much like actual like paper being burnt and plant matter being burnt, like going into your lungs. That wouldn't be for me. Like I don't even like joints, period, because they can be a little harsh. Blunts are even worse, even more harsh in my opinion. Like I'm not opposed to either of those things, but if I was gonna like take a hit and be like, oh, I'm a little stoned now, but if you're talking about being like an all day stoner, that's kind of how you described yourself. I can't imagine being like that with joints. Whereas with wax, it's like I feel like you're doing less damage to get more high, if that makes sense. Like probably not good to put anything superheated into your lungs. It definitely isn't. So like the safest way would obviously be to like have one of those e-vapes or something like that where it's cool going into your system, or do edibles. But I like to smoke, and I really like concentrate, because you're getting so much bang for your buck, so much bang for like the discomfort, because it's pretty uncomfortable like taking a hit of that stuff if you're not really used to it. You're gonna cough a lot. Your eyes
Just
are gonna be
glass as a
pouring
whole
tears.
is the way to go.
I think you're all being kind of lightweights. That's why I inject my marijuana pellets. And
just fucking
throw them in the blender, put in the magic bullet,
throw
just
in the blender,
grind
add
them
some
up.
water, put them in a syringe, and
It
do
looks
it
like pesto.
hardcore. Yeah,
looks like pesto. Yeah.
That turkey baster syringe, just filling it up with pesto.
If you're not doing
the risky thing about what Kyle's like,
injectable devil's lettuce, then
not necessarily risky, but like if you like, I have friends who smoke nothing but those like hyper concentrated pens.
Yeah.
You know, where you put wax in there and then it like melts it down and you take a puff, and they are like if they're at a party or something and someone's like, dude, I got a joint, or oh, I'm gonna pack a bowl with flour, they'll literally be like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna waste your weed because my tolerance is so high that I would need to smoke all of that and probably 2 more to get where I need to go. And so that seems like for that reason, it seems like the optimal thing to do is just smoke flour out of glass. Like
I
keep
disagree.
your tolerance with it. I don't know. You know more than I do.
Well, it depends on what you're going to smoke, right? Like it depends on the level, how much you're going to smoke, because you do build a tolerance. It's most economical to be taking tolerance breaks for one thing. At least, maybe every 2 weeks, take at least 3 or 4 days off or something like that to kind of keep your tolerance in check. Maybe every month, take a week or 2 off, and you'd really be saving some money. But I don't know. It would. You nailed it. What you said with like. But the same's true with the flour. Like if you just keep smoking more and more and more flour, you can get to the point where you need to smoke the entire bowl, and then 2 bowls back to back, and then 3 bowls back to back. And it's like, well, shit, 3 bowls back to back doesn't do it. I'm just coughing my lungs up, but I'm not even that stoned really. I don't know. With the concentrate, you're smoking like 90-something% pure THC, and you can decide how much you want. Get your dabber and just put a twirly. You can put a fucking gram on that motherfucker and just keep going and going and going, and that's gonna get anybody high.
The look of a dab rig, especially with that torch on it, very intimidating.
It's a little intimidating.
To someone who's like, I kind of like just regular pot. You're like the regular kind, not the really scary kind with the torch.
I pulled out the apparatus, and Taylor's like, well, could you help me do this? I'm like, yeah, I'll do the hard part.
Kyle literally did. We were on that trip, and he pulled out this fucking, Rube Goldberg machine that's to hook up, and I had to like have him help me out with it in Colorado, where I was just like, I don't know what to do. but I know I'm gonna get. And it was one of those. I still remember. I remember because you were telling me like, now don't hit this like you would a bong, and you started putting it in there, and I started hitting it like I would a bong, and and you're like, okay, maybe a little too much, maybe a little too much. Then I hit that, and that was the hit. That we went back, we sat at that folding table, and we got our magic cards out, and that was when fucking maybe Chiz asked me what trample meant, and I had that like slow down brain thing where I'm like, it means that the damage runs over whatever the toughness of the creature attacked is, and in my head it was like that slow, and then like a movie, like in Saving Private Ryan when he's walking around picking up the arms and then something goes, yeah, snaps back to reality. Then I was good to go. It was like, man, that was pretty neat. You just have to push past
the beach.
We gotta get off the beach. That's what it was. And then once I was off the beach, I was like, okay, now I'm feeling wonderful and I can do what I need to do. But that was too much pot for me.
Yeah, it's real strong, and that's why it can be kind of economical. Like if you're not a regular.
I was high for 6 hours after that hit.
My tolerance was on another level.
I know.
40 minutes, and it's like, we really need to pack that bad boy up again, huh, boys? And everybody's looking at me all glassy-eyed. No,
what?
No more.
Did we smoke 20 minutes ago or 3 days ago? I don't remember.
It's so fucking potent. It's so fucking potent. You gotta be careful with it. It could be dangerous, I guess. I mean, you're not gonna like OD or anything,
but you'll
could have a
think you're
bad
gonna
time.
die.
Yeah. I don't know. I never had a bad time smoking it, but
people have a bad time with pot sometimes, right? There's such a thing as too high, which I don't get. I don't know, but it like sounds like too rich or too good looking or too high. I don't know, but
yeah, it's like that part of your brain that's normally like locked into the bowl of your cranium and programming things. It's like it fell and tipped over and it's dangling out the back of your head, and like there's just a couple wires keeping it connected to like your spinal cord, and you're just like now operating at 4% power. Like, that'll do.
Yeah, that'll do. I can do 4%. Okay. No, good comparison. It'd be like being too well. It's not as intense as being too drunk, but like being too drunk. Like
the thing about
I'm sure during a drinking episode in the past, Woody, there have been at least slivers of time during the episodes where you're like, man, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling nice. I'm feeling good. More of this would make me feel more better. And then another bottle of wine or whatever it was you drank that one time, and you were like, oh, if I could kill myself, I would. I don't want to be here. So it's kind of like that. Like
so
you're just way over.
You're right. There's a perfect amount of drunk that's just fun and brightens the mood, social lubricant, and everything's enjoyable, and boring things are more fun, right? That there's a proper level of drunk there. More drunk is also fun. Maybe you're sloppy, maybe you're being dumb and uninteresting to people around you, but you inside are having a good time. The problem with me is that more drunk also coincides with really sick. And I have a hard time. I've never been good at getting that happy level of drunk that doesn't feed into sick. Even a happy level, I rarely ever spend any time in the good zone without finding time in the sick.
Well, it sucks for you because the only time you ever drink is when we're doing drinking episodes.
I haven't.
And so,
had
like, I'm sure you could
episode.
sit down and have a dinner with Jackie, say for instance, and you're having your chicken and you have a nice glass of wine, and you have a glass or two of wine, and you would get to that like, whew, I am feeling good. But you never experience that because you don't have to drink a third or fourth glass. Like all of your drinking is like, oh, Woody, are you in that fun time? Well, guess what? We're ringing the bell. You got to drink again.
Yeah, it's always.
Yeah.
You're in a hot rod. Just, oh, look, that was the fun time, man. We're gone.
Right.
There it is up there in the rear view. See you
the
later.
show kicks off with like,
head to drop town.
Let's right off the top just get past Woody's fun zone, right? Yeah, let's all do that.
That would be a fun little experiment for you. Like you and Jackie buy a bottle of wine, which never happens in your home. You agree to split it over dinner, and you just kind of see where you are.
We may have never purchased a bottle of wine in our married life.
Jesus.
That's what I'm saying. It would be a fun
Yeah.
experiment.
I mean, it
Seeing,
happened
like-
obviously with the sponsor, but yeah, we don't.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. If I go to an alcohol store, it feels like a sex shop to me.
An
Like,
alcohol store.
it's-
That's how you know when he's not bullshitting you. You just call it the alcohol store.
Like, go to the alcohol.
like
Whenever I go to the marijuana emporium, I'm just lost.
I'm just like, oh, there's all these like bad drinks around here, you know? Like, should I
That's
be
how I feel
ashamed?
when I walk into like Total Wine or something, and I don't know anything about wine really. I know that I like red more than white, but like I'll be walking through one of the 50 aisles trying to find a bottle of wine, and someone will be like, "Do you need any help, sir?" And no matter what I'm looking for, I always feel compelled to be like, "Oh no, I'm fine." When in reality, I'm like, "What does port mean, and where do I find it? Like, what color is that?
It means
What's a good brand?"
on a ship.
You know, but a port is a dessert wine. You know,
Ah.
after dinner as you're
Thought
watching.
it was the
Ozark or
opposite of
something.
starboard.
So yes, it is a Starbucks.
I have another